right, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar, How to Trade Like the Pros, one of my favorite webinars that we do here at VectorVest. My name is Jerry D'Ambrosio. I'm a senior, manager of educational content here with VectorVest. Just want to do a quick sound check just to make sure you guys can hear me okay. I am streaming live on YouTube as well. Those of you joining me via GoToWebinar, I can see your comments. If you guys don't mind, just chat in the chat box that you can hear me. We've got a great turnout here this afternoon. So if you can hear me, let me know so that I'm not talking to myself. There we go. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Leonard, Vince. Awesome. You guys say good to go. I believe you. All right, well, let's get started. Again, my name is Jerry D'Ambrosio, manager of educational content here with VectorVest. I am just one part of our education team. We have about a dozen or so folks that put together content, produce content, deliver content. So a great team trying to help you guys become better investors, become better traders, along with learning the ins and outs of the VectorVest system. So glad you guys can be here today. By the way, this is my 5th of 5 webinars. You guys got the option of choosing what day and time you guys wanted to join me. This is it. 5 of 5 here today, so I'm glad you guys can make it. I am recording this session. You guys will get the recording a little bit later this evening. Okay, so before we get started, I call them the 3 gets. Get number 1, get a pen and a piece of paper, something to drink, of course. You may want to take notes. I will ask you guys to write a few things down later, so that's going to help. Number 2, get rid of any distractions. This is tough, especially later in the day when maybe the family's home or whatever the case may be. But it is hard, I know. But you are here to learn. Anytime I'm giving a webinar, listening to a webinar, I like to focus so that I get the most out of it. And I really commend you guys for being here. Look, it's Tuesday at 4:30 Eastern Time. You guys are taking time out of your day, which I do appreciate. What you're going to learn here today, first off, we're going to talk about 5 common principles professional traders follow. Next, an extremely easy and effective short-term trading strategy, and I emphasize short-term. And then finally, how to quickly and easily identify the best trades. And my promise to you is that if you follow the steps that we discussed today, you'll know how to identify the correct setup, entry, and exit for each trade. We've got a lot to cover today. I really want you guys to stick with me to the end. If you stick with me to the end, I will share with you a copy of today's slides. Just somebody remind me later. I sometimes forget. Got a lot of content to cover, so we'll be together for maybe about 45 minutes to an hour. So at the end, just say, hey, Jerry, don't forget the slides, and I'll put them in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. If you are joining us via YouTube, you'll get an email with the slides. Okay, so let's start off by talking about what makes a pro a pro. The title of this webinar is called How to Trade Like the Pros, right? So you got to figure we're going to talk a little bit about how pros think, about how pros trade. And first off, we'll talk about what are the qualities that separates these guys and gals from the average retail investor. So this segment here is all about getting you in the correct mindset, because this isn't your buy and hold retirement approach. This is for the capital that you have set aside to trade a little bit more actively. So we hope you're doing that. We hope you're allocating a portion of your overall portfolio to swing trading, because you can grow that portion of your capital faster just due to the nature of the setups and techniques that you'll be using. So first, a professional trader is realistic. They know that there's no magic pill that they're going to take that'll make them better traders overnight. Success in this industry comes with time and effort. Ask anyone who's ever been good at anything or has ever gotten to the top of their fields. They'll tell you that it took hard work. It didn't happen overnight. Same goes with investing. Same goes with trading. It's a skill. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to come with some time and effort. Okay, I know we're all looking for a get-rich-quick scheme and become, financially filthy rich overnight, but that's not going to happen. Okay, it's going to come with some time and a lot of effort. Next is that they control their emotions. They don't allow losing trades to affect them. They don't think of the money first. They focus on doing the right things and making the right trades. They know if they do that, the money will follow. One of the reasons they feel this way, excuse me, is because they place trades based on facts and data rather than gut feelings. And we've all been there. We've all placed a trade or two because we just knew it was going to go up, whether it was an article that we read or a recommendation from a family member. We had that feeling it was going to go up. Pros don't think that way. They look solely at the information in front of them to make decisions. Next is they're prepared. I love this slide. Because the first thing you do when you get on an airplane, pretty much before just as the airplane is taxiing away from the gate, is the flight attendants, they do their little spiel on what happens or what to do in case of an emergency. Well, what do you do in case of an emergency in a position that you're holding, right? Or what do you do when things don't go right? They know exactly when they're going to get out of a trade, even before getting in, and it's because they've examined and tested different techniques to figure out which one is best. Lastly, most importantly, I think professional traders are disciplined. They stay sharp and focused when things are going well. It's the easy part. But they stay resilient or become resilient when things aren't going so well. So they have a plan and they stick to it. Now, what happens if you continue to struggle with some of these things? Now, you'll go broke. Now, I don't mean you'll be unemployed, living on the streets, but you won't be playing this game too much longer, because losses will just keep building up, and you'll wind up broke with no more money to invest, and we don't want that. If done the right way, you'll know exactly what you're doing no matter the situation. So you'll never ask the question, what do I do? What should I do with this stock? I'm down 30%. What do I do? We want to get you to a point where you're not asking that question anymore, and you'll know exactly what to do no matter the situation. So think about the confidence that you'll have if that's always the case. If you always know what to do if a stock goes against you or in your favor. Once you start to develop better habits, you'll start to see more consistent gains. There is a big mistake, though, that traders make when first starting to implement short-term trading strategies. They follow unproven, complicated strategies. They think that they need to use 5 different indicators on the chart and 4 different types of moving averages to help identify entries and exits. For some reason, new traders who are just starting out trading this way, they find value in complexity. They think that the more indicators that they have on the chart, the better the signal must be, and it couldn't be more opposite. It'll lead to confusion and frustration because you'll get mixed signals. You have to understand which indicators pair well with each other and complement each other and aren't conflicting. Most times, again, that's going to lead to confusion and frustration, and you'll wind up giving up. What I want to show you today is what's called the RSI-2 trading system. It was developed by Larry Connors. You may have heard of him. Larry Connors is an author. He's a trader. He has over 30, almost 40 years now in the financial markets industry. This strategy focuses on stocks in long-term uptrends, but are experiencing short-term corrections. I know that's rather vague, but Larry Connors defines those two situations. What I love about this system is that it's so simple. It uses only 3 indicators: a 200-day moving average to identify the long-term trend, and a 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI for the short-term trend. So let me show you how this strategy works. Here we're looking at Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble from November of 2018 to November of 2019. Don't worry about why I went back so far. I'll explain why I went back so far in a moment. Procter & Gamble's good stock over this time period, right? Overall price moves from bottom left to upper right, but there are times where the stock pulls back. It stays above the 200-day moving average, but falls below its 5-day moving average. Long-term uptrend, short-term correction. Now the third indicator, and it only uses 3, again it doesn't use 6 or 7 indicators, it uses 3 indicators, and I like the combination here, and I think they complement each other because you need an indicator to identify different trends. You don't need 3 indicators for the long-term trend and 2 indicators for the short-term, or 3 indicators for the short-term trend. 200-day moving average for the long-term trend, and a combination of the 5-day moving average and the RSI for the short-term trend. Now, RSI is scaled between 0 and 100. Now, the industry standard look-back period is 14, with the extreme lower level at 30 and the extreme upper level at 70. And you can plot this on a chart over time showing the movement of the RSI. Now, using the industry standard settings, you can see that the RSI fell below 30 during this time period only once. Okay, good opportunity to buy, and that if you were using the 14 period RSI, that's how you would use it. When it goes below 30, you get ready to buy, and when it crosses from below 30 to above 30, you get ready to you buy. Larry Connors looked at this and said, you know, I like the RSI, but I think the 14 period is going to be a little slow for what I'm looking to do here. So what he did was he sped up the indicator and changed the look back period to 2. Okay, when you do that, you have to adjust your extreme levels as well. So he lowered the extreme level from 30 to 10. And you might be asking, why a 2 period RSI with a value of 10? The only answer I can give to that question or that idea would be he tested different combinations, right? One of the things that I said earlier is that's what pros do. They don't arbitrarily throw a 10% stop loss on every trade that they place because it might not make sense for certain stocks. He examined and tested different techniques and figured out that this combination of the 200-day moving average and the 5-day simple moving average with the 2 period RSI gave him the signals, gave him the signals that he was looking for. So here's the system, okay? Price above the 200-day moving average, but falls below the 5-day moving average and the 2 period RSI going below 10. That is your setup, not or. So it's not price above the 200-day moving average, but price below the 5-day moving average or the 2 period RSI below 10. It's an and situation. Okay, all right. We'll take a look at close-up examples in a moment, but let's take a look at what it looks like written down on paper. So we got left brainers, we got right brainers. I got you guys covered. Okay. Entry rules are as follows: you buy only when the stock is above the 200-day moving average and below the 5-day moving average with the 2 period RSI below 10. And this is a little different than maybe some of the other trading systems that you might be familiar with. We are going to enter near the close of that day, whatever day that is, whatever day that those rules are true. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll identify a setup as of the close of a given day, and then we'll look to take the trade on follow through the next day. This is a little different. No follow through. We're identifying the setup as of the close of a given day, and we're going to enter as close to the close as possible. I trade the system a lot, and I use a market order, and I get in about 3:55 p.m. Eastern time. A couple of minutes before the market closes. I don't mess around with limit orders. There's a chance I might not get filled. So just put a market order in as close to the close as possible. So we are to enter near the close, and we are to exit near the close when price goes above the 5-day moving average. Remember, we are entering the trade when price is below the 5-day moving average. We are going to exit when price goes above it. And we are going to exit near the close of that day. Okay? So let's take a look at some examples. Same stock, Procter & Gamble. I've zoomed in here to, looks like July of 19 to the beginning of August of 19. Again, I'll explain why I went back in a little bit. Look, I could be looking at any stock from any time period, and the system would still be the same, right? We're trying to learn the system, so it could be any stock, any time frame. But again, I'll explain why I went back so far in a little bit. July 23rd of 2019, we have an RSI 2 setup. Now, when I zoomed in here, we lost the 200-day moving average, didn't we? Can't see it. You don't see the purple line. You see the white line, which is the 5-day moving average, and you see the 2 period RSI in green with the red line at the bottom equal to 10. Okay? On July 23rd of 2019, the price of the stock is above the 200-day moving average, but you can see it's fallen below the 5-day moving average. Price on July 23rd closed below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI went below 10. So if you were to buy and you were to take the trade on that day, you're going to buy as close to the close as possible. Now, I don't know what the price was on July 23rd of 2019 at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time or 3:58 p.m. Eastern Time. All I know is what the closing price was. So for the purposes of my examples here, we'll just use the closing price as our cost basis. Okay, so if we are to buy at 113.85, when do we sell? We sell 1, 2, 3 days later, near, right as the stock is about to close, right as the market's about to close, at roughly 114.73, because the price closed above the 5-day moving average. We again put a market order in as close to the close as possible. So that is a winning trade, and that's what I want you guys to focus on first. Did we make money, as opposed to how much money did we make? We'll talk about how much money we could potentially make in a little bit, but let's just focus first on winning and losing trades, because I think that is the draw here that you guys will see in a moment on this system. The hit rate is astronomical. So winning trade there, right? Very next day, you had another setup, didn't you? Right? Price is still above the 200-day moving average, but it's still below. It's actually dipped a little bit lower, or further below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI actually dipped a little bit further below 10. I'm not saying if you would have bought the stock the day before that you should buy more of it the next day. That's more of an advanced, aggressive type of a strategy to buy more of the stock on subsequent days after you initially take the trade, if the setup still remains true. But what I'm saying, if you didn't buy the stock the day before, for whatever reason, you were sick, you weren't watching the market, you were on vacation, you didn't have enough buying power, whatever the case may be, you didn't buy it. Let me just make sure you guys can see my cursor here. You didn't buy it the day before. You had another opportunity on July 24th of 2019. So if you would have taken the trade then, you buy it at roughly 113.15, you still sell a couple of days later. Remember guys, I said this is a short-term trading strategy, and I meant it. The average holding period for this system is anywhere between 2 to 5 days. We're not talking even weeks here, unlikely. Average holding period is 2 to 5 days. We are entering the trade we're buying the dip in an otherwise underlying uptrend, and we're going to exit quickly on the reversal. So that's another win. So put another tally mark in the win column. Next setup was August 5th of 2019. Price is still above the 200-day moving average, so it's still in a long-term uptrend, but as you can clearly see here, it is experiencing a short-term correction. Price has fallen below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. You got yourself a setup. If you were to buy at 113.08, you sell 2 days later at 115.52. Quick trade. Okay, that's another win. You had to wait another month for another setup. September 10th of 2019. And by the way, I'm not skipping over any dates. I'm not skipping over any setups. These are chronological, left to right. I'm literally moving from left to right on this chart. So another month later, you had another setup, September 10th of 19. Price is still above the 200-day moving average, but another short-term correction where the price is now at 119.88, so higher than your previous cost basis, and also a little higher than your previous sale price as well. But you got an uptrending stock that continues to hit higher highs and higher lows. We're pulling back off of another new high. We fall below the 5-day moving average, 2-period RSI below 10. We buy at 119.88. We sell at 122.77. That's a nice quick gain there. Okay, that's another win. All right, so far so good. Next opportunity was October 2nd of 2019. Price closing below the 5-day moving average. Short-term pullback, but it's still above the 200-day moving average, long-term uptrend. If you buy here at 121.08, you sell there at 124 even. Okay, another win. Now, notice how I haven't talked yet about stop losses. Larry Connors, when he developed this trading system, he didn't use stop losses because and remember, going back to examining and testing different techniques to figure out which one is best, he figured out that stop losses, in the traditional sense where you cut losses at a certain level, hurt performance over time. So he established that closing the position when price closes above the 5-day moving average is your most consistently effective money management rule. In this case, this so happens to be a losing trade, right? If you buy at 120.05 because it met the rules, right? Price above the 200-day moving average, but it fell below the 5-day moving average with the 2-period RSI below 10. You buy near the close there at 120.05. You sell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later at 119.08. I don't care what the stock did after that. You didn't know what it was going to do after that. This is not a long-term strategy. This is not a home run hitting strategy. We're looking for singles and singles and singles. Small ball, if you're familiar with baseball, the baseball term, small ball. Singles and singles and singles. Hey, maybe you'll get the occasional double, but we're looking for small ball here. Okay? Now, if you took the trade on that day, you lost, right? So put a tally mark in the loss column. That's our first loss, by the way. The next day, you had another setup. So if you didn't take it the day before, you had another opportunity on October 15th. With this setup, you made money, right? And with this setup, you made money. Now, I'm not saying that you're just going to continue to throw more money at a falling stock price. That is more of an advanced, aggressive strategy that Larry Connors has laid out. But for you guys just learning the system, I would say don't do that. Don't buy more of it. Just take the initial trade and then the initial setup and close it when you're supposed to. When you get more familiar with the technique, then I would be okay with buying more as the stock price continues to fall, as long as the rules are still in place. So I believe that was 8 wins and 1 loss. Everybody understand the system, right? It's a pretty simple strategy. I mean, how hard can it get when you only use 3 indicators? It can get rather difficult when you start adding more indicators, right? But only uses 3 indicators. Very simple technique to understand. I told you I'd go back, or I told you I'd explain why I went back to 2008. Now, Procter & Gamble, I will admit, full disclosure, that was a cherry-picked stock, right? I have to teach you a system. I got to teach you the system, the strategy on a stock, right? I chose Procter & Gamble. Why did I choose Procter & Gamble? Because during the time frame that we were looking at, the price of the stock was above the 200-day moving average the entire time. That is a prerequisite. You don't trade stocks that are below the 200-day moving average. So you just eliminate any stock that's trading below the 200-day moving average, not an RSI2 candidate. You see Procter & Gamble above the 200-day moving average, nice strong uptrend. That's absolutely a viable RSI2 candidate. So the exercise that we just ran through, I just ran through 9 setups, right? From November of 2018 all the way to current, there were 119 RSI2 setups for Procter & Gamble. What I showed you guys, 9, right? There was 110 more. 91 winning trades, 28 losing trades for a 76% winning trade percentage. I think that's pretty good. 76% winning trades. 3 out of every 4 trades, RSI2 trades for Procter & Gamble for the last 6 years, you made money. Okay? Again, that's a cherry-picked stock. It also includes the last year or so where price had crossed above the 200 and you got your opportunities, you got your setup. So when that 119 ran all the way to current. That was just one stock. I like to demonstrate a more empirical, systematic way to not only find stocks, but to trade them as well. So what I do in that regard, I go into a list of stocks, and then what you do in the VectorVest program is you rank them. We have different indicators that you can use to rank stocks, right? We got VST, you got RT, you got RS. One indicator that I really like is a technical indicator within the VectorVest program. It's proprietary. It's called CI, or Comfort Index. Comfort Index measures a stock's ability to resist long or lengthy price declines. And by the way, CI is on a 0 to 2 scale. Above 1 is good, below 1 is bad. The higher above 1, the closer to 2, the better. High CI stocks grow in price persistently. And those are the types of stocks we want to favor when we trade the RSI2 system. High CI stocks. So what I did for this exercise is I went into the S&P 500 no petro watch list. Just eliminated all the oil stocks, about 480 or so stocks left, and I ranked that list of stocks by CI. That's not cherry picking, right? I literally took the top 5 stocks after I ranked the list of 480 by CI. When you rank them by CI, it brings the stocks with the highest CI ratings to the top. By the way, you've heard of the Ulcer Index, right? The Ulcer Index rises the more and the further a stock price falls. The CI indicator rises the more and the further a stock price rises. So the longer a stock price can demonstrate its resiliency and it's persistently growing, the higher the CI rating will be. So we want to just take the highest CI ratings in the whole S&P 500. There they are. KKR, NVIDIA, HWM, Royal Caribbean, FICO. As of November 11th of 2024, those are the 5 stocks, and over the last 1 year, from November 11th of 23 to November 11th of 24, I ran through the same exercise as we just did with Procter & Gamble across all 5 of those stocks. There were 71 total RSI2 setups across all 5, not each, not 71 setups each stock, 71 total. 64 winning trades, 7 losing trades. Guys, that's a 90% winning trade percentage. This was a much more empirical, systematic demonstration here on the efficacy of the RSI2 system. You have a list of stocks, you rank them by CI, you take the top 5, you look at the setups over the last year. How did we do? 90% winning trades. Fantastic. 9 out of every 10 trades you made were winning trades. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's see how much money we could potentially make here. What you're looking at is a long-term portfolio of the RSI2 system that I just demonstrated, going back to February of 2010, basically all the way to current. The difference here, though, is the exit criteria. The stock selection criteria for this portfolio, or in this portfolio, is exactly the same as I just demonstrated. So let me separate what you're seeing here from what I just taught you. What I just taught you is manual. It's a manual process, manual management. Yes, you do have to be in front of the computer at the end of the day to place the trade, to buy the stock. You also have to be in front of the computer at the end of whatever day to sell the stock. It's manual. Price closing above the 5-day moving average, you exit the trade. That's done at the end of a given trading session. Unfortunately, within the Vector, and I always want to try to take a system that's manual and automate it, right? So you don't have to be there all day. You can just kind of run on autopilot. So unfortunately, within the VectorVest program, and this is on my wish list, this is on my VectorVest wish list, that we could be able to automate closing a position when price closes above the 5-day moving average. That exit criteria is not in the VectorVest program yet. I hope someday it will be. So knowing that, I had to adjust. In building this system, I had to change the stop criteria. Subtly, I wanted to keep with the integrity of the original exit, and I'll explain what that exit is a little bit later and kind of how you can get it. But look at the performance here. Again, using the RSI2 stock selection system that I just taught you. February of 2010 to current, we're talking 14 years. 1,353%. That's not a bad return. That's not the best part of it. Over the last 14 years, this trading system produced 294 winning trades and only 22 losing trades. Guys, that's a 93% winning trade percentage. I don't care what what you think, what your predetermined conceptions are, perception is for this strategy. 14 years, 93% winning trades. If I saw something like this, I'd say, sign me up. How do I get started here? How do I start trading this, right? What I'm about to tell you eliminates all of the time that you think is necessary in trading this type of system or trading these types of strategies. No matter what we teach you here at VectorVest, we want you to be able to do it faster, smarter, and better. 2025 is right around the corner, okay? I believe that we are heading into a very prosperous 2025, 2026, 2027, and beyond in the stock market. Now is the time to right your ship, or at least kind of get yourselves going in the right direction. So you want to take your game to the next level. A strategy like this will help you get there. Now you can do things on your own, right? Or you can allow me to just give you all the answers. And that's what I'm here for. So that's why we put together this 6-session, it's a webcast series where we teach you techniques from 3 of the very best professional traders in the industry. You'll learn top trading strategies of the pros and how to quickly and easily identify the best trades. I hope that you saw, if you start learning to implement strategies like the one I showed you today, you'll achieve the success that you're looking for. So before we get into the kind of the nuts and bolts of the course and what we're really offering here, let's just take a look at the agenda for the Trade Like a Pro course. It is a 6-module course. The modules that you see here are pre-recorded. For our upcoming Trade Like a Pro class, we will be meeting live 6 times, and I will review those dates in a moment. But let's take a look at the agenda. Module number 1, we get you in the correct mindset, because remember, this is not your retirement approach where you don't have to look at, in investments but once a week. We talk more about how the pros think, more about risk management, and then a really important segment in this first module is order entry. Module number 2, bullish and bearish candlestick reversal signals. I'll teach you how to trade those. Module number 3, technical analysis indicators for each of the 3 types of market situations that we may encounter. Module number 4 is where we get into the professional traders systems. Myself and Steve Chappell, guys, are your coaches, are your instructors for this course. However, the Holy Grail system was developed by Linda Ratchke. You may have heard of her. She's done some work with Larry Connors. She's not teaching you guys this system, we are, but she developed it. It's called the Holy Grail. I love it. It's one of the systems that I use in my swing trading coaching group portfolio. You might be familiar with our coaching groups. It's one of the systems that I use quite often in our swing trading coaching group portfolio. I'll show you guys that in a moment. It's for both bullish and bearish markets. Great system. Module number 5, a little slower system. So the Holy Grail, pretty fast. It's not as fast as the RSI2 in its holding period, but it's pretty fast. 50-50 and 80 excellence, a little bit slower. So we kind of got some techniques for everybody here. And then the highlight of the course, I think, is the RSI2 system. More about that one. There's also a bearish setup there, all right, where you can short stocks in a bearish market. And then another good one called the RSI25. This is exclusively for ETFs. This is a really good one. Another one Larry Connors created. Now, those again are pre-recorded modules. Watch them at your own leisure. But we will be meeting live 6 times for these mastery support sessions. These are designed to help you actually implement the things that you've learned in the course. We'll take a look at the things you're doing, questions you have, and we'll guide you. You'll be given a homework assignment after each module, and we'll go over the homework assignments live in the mastery session. So we'll be there to guide you through the entire process. If you currently do not have VectorVest, I want to make sure you have access to it during the course. So you'll get 70 days access to our VectorVest Premium product, which is our real-time data and everything else that you see here. If you're already a subscriber but not a subscriber to VectorVest Premium, we're going to give it to you for 70 days throughout the duration of the course. If you already have Premium, you have it because you love it. You don't get any extra time. This is kind of essentially a trial that folks that don't have it get a chance to take a look at it, similar to what you did before you became a premium subscriber. Okay, this is a live trading session. You can almost consider this mastery session number 7. This is the last time we'll meet live. I love this session. This is a live trading session where we actually implement what we've learned over the course of the 6 weeks. So I'm going to show you guys how to use RoboTrader. Now, you don't have RoboTrader during the course, but you can take a trial to it after the course is over. But it's a great tool, and let me actually show you real quick. It's a great tool to help you manage trades. Here's my swing trading coaching group portfolio. This portfolio is up 49% year to date. Okay, I use strategies like the RSI2 in this portfolio, like the 50-50, like the Holy Grail. This is a real money portfolio this year. Okay, right now my hit rate is about 50%. Okay, it's not 90% because I'm not using the RSI2 system exclusively. I use the RSI2 system sparingly when it's appropriate. Okay, but that's our RoboTrader tool. You can connect to your broker, the brokers that we're partnered up with, and trade within the VectorVest program. I'll show you guys that tool. You can take a look at it after the course is over. But during this session, I take you through everything from market analysis to trade setup to trade execution, and this is huge. Exclusively for workshop attendees, you will receive pre-built searches that make finding your trades a breeze. You were probably thinking, well, great, they teach us these techniques, but how on earth will we find trades, right? Find stocks to actually trade. The legwork has already been done. I built these scans to quickly and easily find the best candidates to trade, and the great thing here is they will be inserted into your VectorVest 7 program, so you don't have to build them yourselves. And finally, you will get this automated trading system that centers around the RSI2 system. By the way, I have an RSI2, another RSI2 system. Let me see where it is in my program here. Let me show you. Over the last 1 year, almost 50%. This is from November 23rd of 2023 to current. This is a real live automated portfolio that you will get. Okay, this is just a different time frame here, looking at the last year. Almost 50%. Not bad. Take a look at this. If I go to the summary report, look at the percentage of winning trades. Look at the number of winners and the number of losers. All positions that we closed, 31 winners, 0 losers. And if I go to my reports and trade history, look at that. Not one losing trade. I guess we delisted that stock. We don't track it anymore, but no losing trades over the last year using the RSI2 system. You will get this trading system, guys. Okay? And by the way, there's a lot of different variables in an automated system, right? There is the market timing system used. There is, of course, the stock selection search that's used. The exit criteria, you will get that. How many stocks does the portfolio hold? What's my industry and sector diversification look like? Do I replace or not replace when I sell out of stocks, right? All of those little rules that are included in an automated system, you will get all of that as part of this course. Okay? Now, the course we normally sell for $2,995. Now, generally what we do before the launch and before the class starts is we offer an early bird rate. That early bird rate is $2,495. Normally what we do for these webcasts that we do prior to the launch, we knock a couple of $100 off. So normally what we do is we'd sell Trade Like a Pro for $2,295. I want you to forget that, because this is a I've been with VectorVest now 18 years. We've never had this offer before. For only $19.95, you not only get the Trade Like a Pro upcoming class, but you'll get what we call the All Access Pass. This gives you 1 year access to every course within the VectorVest University. If you've thought about trading or taking the option paycheck before but just didn't have the time, or our Mastering Moving Averages course, which I love, or our Precision Swing Trading course, or any of our retirement courses, you get all of those courses in the university, everything that you see in the catalog, for 1 year. I'm going to put that website that you saw there at the bottom, www.vectorvest.com/TLP, so you can just click on it. Make sure I spelled it right. There we go. Again, I've been with VectorVest now 18 years. By the way, this is called the All Access Pass. Again, it gives you access for 1 year to every course within the VectorVest University. We sell the All Access Pass normally for $7,995. We're offering it to you end of year special for $19.95, and that includes our upcoming Trade Like a Pro course. By the way, this is 100% money back guaranteed. If after the Trade Like a Pro course is over, if you've shown that you've done the work, you've at least watched the recordings, if you've done the assignments, we know if you do or not, and you're still not satisfied, we'll gladly give you a refund. Now, we take the All Access Pass away, we take the searches away and the trading system, but we'll gladly give you a refund if after the course is over you're not satisfied. So go to vectorvest.com/TLP to register. Here are the dates for the live mastery support sessions. Okay, so we do begin in about 2 weeks, December 4th. The deadline for this offer is the day before that, December 3rd. Okay, so keep that in mind. Here are the dates for the live mastery support sessions. When you register, you will get an email with these dates, and each of these sessions start at 1 p.m. These sessions are also recorded. If you can't make the live session, we record the session and we upload it to the university right away. Okay, the live trading session will be on January 14th. What is that? That's the week after the last or the 6th mastery session, right? January 8th. A week later on January 14th, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We meet an hour before the market opens because there's work to be done, right? There's work that a trader needs to do before the market opens to get themselves ready for the open. There's a bias determination, market bias determination. Am I bullish? Am I bearish today? There's stock selection, right? You got to run. We're going to run our scans. We'll do that in the morning. We'll set up trades. You know, if we like a holy grail, let's say, I'm going to take you guys through the setup. Meaning, okay, we like the chart, we like the setup. Here's where our stop loss is. Here's where our profit target is. We go through all that, so you know exactly when you're going to be placing these trades if you get confirmation. Yes, thank you, Calvin. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to put the the slides in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. So it should be there now. In the control panel that you guys are on right now, the GoToMeeting control panel, there's a handout section. It should say 1 of 5, and it should say it's a PDF, a TLP PDF. Please click on that now, and then if you want them, of course, and then just download them to your computer. All right, you'll have a copy of those stored on your computer. All right, guys, so again, vectorvest.com/TLP. You got 2 weeks left. The deadline is December 3rd. We've never had this offer before of $19.95 for the All Access Pass. Okay, the class, this Trade Like a Pro class, is filling up, so you want to act before it gets filled. All right, guys, my email address. I always like to give you my email address. If you have any questions about this course, about the slides that you have, about the All Access Pass, about anything, shoot me an email, and then we'll go from there. We start December 4th, so I do look forward to working with you guys. We got a great class coming up. This is my favorite course to teach. Again, you saw that portfolio, right? You saw the almost 50% this year, the Swing Trading Coaching Group portfolio. You'll learn more about the Swing Trading Coaching Group during our Trade Like a Pro class and after. But I use these systems among other ones. I'll use a couple of other systems that I use in that portfolio: surfing the reversal waves, EMA squeeze, If I see a bull flag breakout, I'll trade it. If I see a triangle setting up, an ascending triangle, I'll trade it. But these are all techniques taken from courses that you will have access to for the All Access Pass. The slides are in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. TLP, it's a PDF, it's an Adobe document in the handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. If you don't see them, if you don't are not able to access them, just give our support department a call. They have them and they'll send them to you. All right, guys. Well, we'll look forward to working with you. We have 2 weeks before we begin. Have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see everybody soon.